With so many of us buying just about everything online, how can technology help after the purchases? Welcome to another Techstination interview. Joining us is Tsiki Naftaly, CEO of Copilot.cx. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Fred.
Well, tell us about the company. Give us the overview first of what Copilot.cx does.
Copilot is a data-based post-purchase customer experience platform. And we work with consumer electronics companies to improve the relationship that those companies have with their consumers after the sale. If you think of the traditional consumer electronics company that sells outdoor lighting or vacuum cleaners or coffee machines, you'll find out that most companies kind of push their products out of their warehouse, and they don't care what happens with that product after it's shipped to the customer, as long as the customer doesn't complain that something doesn't work. In the new world of smart devices, you'll see that that's not the case, because suddenly that vacuum cleaner is connected to an app. Suddenly that coffee machine is connected to the internet, and consumers expect a better relationship with the physical product, which is actually a better relationship with the brand. So just to give you an example, if you're almost out of coffee pods in your coffee machine, if the coffee machine could reorder coffee for you, that would be a better experience for you as a customer. Same goes to your vacuum cleaner. If you're struggling with the setup of your vacuum cleaner, you would expect that vacuum cleaner to solve that issues for you. You don't want to call customer support and start complaining. This is the new world of consumer electronics, or should I say connected consumer electronics.
And why is it that companies should really care about that relationship ongoing? And it's not just, I guess, during the warranty period either that you're talking about.
You're perfectly right. So there are many reasons for companies to care about that relationship. And I can tell you how it looks from the company's point of view, because we meet with literally hundreds of them. First of all, many of the consumer electronics products are being commoditized. You might have an amazing product, but then you have a company that manufactures that product for quarter of the price, and that product becomes really a commodity. The edge that many, if you look at the unicorns like Nest and Ring and Arlo and August Lock, that some of them began just as a startup and became a billion-dollar company in no time. Their secret sauce, or part of the secret sauce, is being able to build that relationship with a customer. If we take a Ring door lock, for example, doorbell, sorry, you buy the doorbell, but then you have a relationship with the company and you pay a subscription. And there is, the idea of a lifetime value of a customer. More and more companies understand that the game actually begins once the customer has the product in their hands. And you'll probably agree that it's much easier to sell the next product in line or the replenishment to an existing customer than getting a new customer to trust the brand. If you build that trust, you actually have customers, not just transactions. You don't count only transactions.
So what is it that you and your company do to help form that relationship?
So what Copilot actually does, we process all the information that comes in from those smart devices. And that's, usage information. So you try to set up your, let's say, smart door lock. The system itself on the app knows if you're stuck in the onboarding, if you need assistance, if you, for example, chose the wrong Wi-Fi. There are many products today that require a specific channel of Wi-Fi, for example, 2.4 gigahertz. The system identifies whether you're in trouble and you need help, and actively helps you throughout that process. So guides you on how to finish that onboarding process successfully. This would be one edge of the spectrum when you talk about consumer electronics. But customer experience is much more than that. For example, if we're talking about that coffee machine, or let me take one of our customers as an example. So if you buy a personal HP printer, for example, the thing about that printer, it doesn't have ink, but it uses, it's called zinc paper. If you're about to run out of paper, Copilot will automatically detect that and notify you that it's time to replenish on paper, and will take you throughout that process seamlessly from the HP app. This is all done by Copilot, and it's done fully automatically. So you don't need a support person at the other end to look at the data and say, okay, that guy needs replenishment, this lady is stuck in the onboarding, and so on. And this gives the manufacturer the power of scaling to millions and millions of customers and dealing with each customer individually, personally.
Interesting. Now, some consumers may have questions about privacy. How do you address those concerns?
I think it's a great question. So privacy is a big issue for us. And with privacy, it's a little bit, video killed the radio star. So I want a smart door lock. I actually have a smart door lock in my house. And I want the door lock to open automatically when I approach my house. The trade-off for me as a consumer is that I need to provide my location information to that product or that manufacturer. And here's the thing. If manufacturers use the information that's provided by the customers for the customer's benefit, this is a kind of a natural evolution of the industry. One of the things that Copilot set as a core value is we're only working with manufacturers that utilize the information to the benefit of the customers. So if you're a manufacturer and you decide that the best route for you is to sell that information, we're not going to be part of that equation. And again, we're a customer experience platform, which at the baseline is talking about the customers. There's another point here. Manufacturers need to be forthcoming with their customers about what information they collect. For almost everything we spoke about, helping with onboarding issues, selling more consumables, etc., you don't really need personal information. It's called PII, the personal identifiable information. You don't need their email address. You don't need their physical address. You don't need their age or their gender, and so on. You just need to understand that now they clicked a button and they got an error, and you need to respond to that. So if manufacturers are, building trust with their customers, they're forthcoming with what they're doing with the data, and they're actually utilizing that data to help their customers, I think there's a balance there. And something that's even more important, if a customer knows that the manufacturer uses Copilot in order to process their information, they can rest assured that that data will be utilized properly, and no one's going to sell their data to put commercials on Facebook or something like that. That's the trust that we know that the manufacturers want us to build with the end consumers.
Interesting. What about the angle of ratings and what you're doing in that space and the importance of it to both the companies and consumers?
Ratings is an interesting thing, and obviously, you probably know that people that are getting a bad experience are highly motivated to leave a bad rating, a negative rating. They need somehow to, they need an outlet for their frustration. People that have a really good experience rarely go to Amazon or the Apple Store, Google Play, or Walmart and leave a positive rating. One of the engines that Copilot has as a built-in engine is an engine that deals with rating. That's actually probably one of our most popular features. And what that engine does is twofold. One thing it does is identifying people that are frustrated at the setup and reaching out to those people in order to help them with that setup. This reduces the number of bad ratings. By the way, it reduces also the number of product returns. Most bad ratings happen in the first 24 hours from opening the box. This is something that many manufacturers don't understand. So I think 80 or 85% of the ratings we see that are bad, that are 1 or 2 stars, are sourced in the first 24 hours from the moment a consumer opened the box. If you kind of hold that consumer's hand in those 24 hours and you don't wait for them to call customer support, which is 1 moment too late, you will reduce the number of bad ratings. This is one layer. The second layer is identifying who's having a really good experience. And this is what our system does fully automatically. So again, the system knows how people are using the product. And if your pattern of usage is similar to other people that already gave a good rating, the system will identify that and encourage you as a consumer to provide a good rating. And if you do both layers, you get less bad rating, more good ratings. And this is how many of our manufacturers jump from 2.5 to 4.5 stars on Amazon, for example, just by isolating those group of happy users on one end and frustrated users on the other end.
And for consumers, what's your message about whether or not they should participate in the ratings? Many of us rely on the ratings when we're making a purchase, before we make a purchase, but I don't know how many actually participate in rating products.
So for every platform, if you look at a social network, for example, there's always a small percentage of contributors that write content and a large percentage of consumers consuming that content. The same goes about rating. I think there will always be the people that love rating. They feel like they're, giving something back to the community. I love to rate, by the way, and I almost never buy a product without reading those ratings. Not just the average, but reading what people write. I don't know if you noticed, but some people write stories for each ratings and actually compare that to different products and give them a score for each parameter. I think that this is really important. And I think, in general, like any other social platform, if you want to enjoy the rating, you should make the effort of at least giving a score for products that you buy. And at the same time, I understand that the large percentage of customers will forever not rate the product, maybe unless they're encouraged. We see a really high conversion when reaching out to someone in their delight moment. So if you've had a delightful moment with your product and the company is really, candid with you, saying, listen, ratings are dramatic for our business, please help us spread the word. The conversion to people that actually are going and doing that effort and rating the product is really high. By the way, with Copilot, you don't need to leave the app, so you can actually rate the product from within your native app, which always helps for conversion.
So for more information, where can people go?
We have a lot of information on our website. That's Copilot.cx. And we have a great blog, both on our website and on Medium. And we're always happy when people join our webinars, obviously.
Terrific. Tsiki Naftaly, thank you so much for taking the time with us.
Thanks, Fred. I appreciate that.